It's your girl Crazy. I am back with another video. I am actually back with another Bible study video. This video should have been up like yesterday, and I ask that you guys forgive me for that because I did not put it up like I was supposed to. So now I am putting it up tonight. I apologize. I'm really not feeling myself in the fact that I did that because I've been trying to be consistent. I think that is an orderly thing of the Lord, to be consistent, and when you say you're going to do something, you do it. So I apologize for that. I'm working on that, y'all, so please pray for me. Oh, let me this a little bit. I don't want that to burn nothing. Okay. Now, I know last time that I did this Bible study, we were talking about Esther. Chapters, I believe, 1 through 4. Now, we did talk about when King Xerxes' wife, Vashti, if I pronounced it correctly. As a matter of fact, it's spelled V-A-T. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. V-A-S-H-T-I, Vashti, or Vashti, because that's how I pronounced it at the beginning. We did talk about that, and we talked about how basically at that moment King Xerxes just said, forget it, I'm gonna get a new wife, blah blah blah. I'm pretty sure King Xerxes had other wives, but that particular wife made him upset, so he wanted to replace her. Okay, so but what we didn't talk about as well, that was a big thing in the Bible people don't really talk about, and I think I said this last time, is Mordecai. People think Esther is just about Queen Esther, but it really was about Mordecai and Esther, and both of them doing enormous things in this book, if that makes sense. Mordecai basically was the reason why they were there, the reason why they really were saved, because Mordecai saved the king. Somebody was plotting against him, and that was still in chapter 2, it's starting at verse 19. It talks about basically when he started to save Xerxes' life. As a matter of fact, I think it started at verse 19, like I said, and goes all the way to 21, and I will read. When the young women were brought together again, Esther's cousin Mordecai had become a palace official. He had told Esther never to tell anyone that she was a Jew. We know that. But in verse 21, Bigthana and Teresh were the two men who guarded King Xerxes' room, but they got angry with the king and decided to kill him. Now, the closest people to the king was trying to kill him, but a Jew who, Xerxes, they weren't very fond of Jews, if y'all know. They were not very fond of Jews, but he still saved his life by telling, I believe, Esther. Yes, Mordecai found out about their plans and asked Queen Esther to tell the king. So he told Esther to tell the king, hey, these two fellas that your road dogs or whatever supposed to be basically the ones that's supposed to be saving you are actually plotting to kill you. Ain't that crazy? That's so crazy. The closest people to you are really plotting to kill you. The people that's supposed to save you from people trying to hurt you are the ones that are plotting for you. That is so significant in life right now, so to speak. Just how this government is going right now. These are the people that's supposed to be helping us to stay alive, to stay organized, and to live great lives. But it's almost as if they're plotting against people right now. But I'm pretty sure God talks about that in the Bible. Okay. So when she tells the king or whatever, Queen Esther tell the king what he found out. King Xerxes learned that Mordecai's report was true, and he had the two men hanged. They ain't play about that killing, did they? The king also had it written down in a record book as he watched. Okay. Later, Xerxes promoted Haman, the son of the Hammedatha, to the highest position in his kingdom. Haman was a descendant of Agag. Now, that's another thing. I told you Xerxes didn't really care for the Jews, and neither did Haman, because Haman was a part of a man that destroyed, hold on, let me see. Yeah, Hagar was a king who had fought against the Jews long before Esther then was even thought about. So basically, years ago, it was a man who was the king, and he started to fight against the Jews. And he was a part of the descendants. So, you know, when you're part of something like that, you tend to go with the generation of what you learn. So he probably was brought up to think the Jews were horrible, so that he basically made a hate for them. Kind of like how we deal with today. Some people are brought up to dislike certain colors, certain skin tones, and certain people. And I'm not just saying white people, because I don't believe that. It's not just white people with hate. There's black people with hate, there's Asian people with hate, and then there's Spanish or Latinos that are hateful as well, or Latins. So there is where he gets his hate from. He got that from his people back in the day. But okay, so Haman was a descendant of him, and the king had given orders for his officials at the royal gate to honor Haman by kneeling down to him. All of them obeyed except Mordecai. Remember, y'all, Mordecai is a Jew, but him and Esther, but they don't want people to know. So now this is telling us that Mordecai was a devout Jew, okay? He was serious. He said he's not going to bow down to no other God, and he did not. Regardless of the fact that he knows for him not obeying that he could get killed, he just could not do it. Now, on top of all of this, Haman already don't like Jews. So for him to do that, Haman got very angry, because of course Haman finds out that he is a Jew. But when he finds this out, he is very, very, very upset. When he does that, Haman has a plan. So Haman, when he does find out, he comes up with a plan, because he feels as though to kill just Mordecai would not be enough, because everybody would see what Mordecai did and why he did it, and then the Jews would basically rise up against him. So he didn't want that. So he made it his business to basically kill all the Jews. Is technically what he wanted to do. He wanted to kill all of the Jews. And now that is in chapter 3, verse 5. They say Haman was furious to learn that Mordecai refused to kneel down and honor him. And when he found out that Mordecai was a Jew, he knew that killing only Mordecai was not enough. Every Jew in the whole kingdom had to be killed. And by the way, this is CEV version, y'all. It was now the 12th year of the rule of King Xerxes, during Nisan, the first month of the year. Haman said, "Find out the best time to do this." The time chosen was Adar, the 12th month of the Hebrew calendar. Okay? And that is technically around mid-February to mid-March. Okay? And then Haman went to the king and said, "Your Majesty, there are some people who live all over the kingdom who won't have a thing to do with anyone else." So now he's trying to make this thing seem really bad so the king could be like, okay, do what you got to do, because they're not going to disrespect us. You know what I'm saying? So he write this letter to the king. "They have customs that are different from everyone else, and they refuse to obey your laws. We will be better off to get rid of them. Why not give orders for all of them to be killed? I can promise you that you will get tons of silver for your treasury." So technically he basically trying to bribe the king. Like, listen, but I'm trying to figure out how you bribe the king. He the king, so he got more money than that. Why would you bribe him with money? I don't know. But people can be greedy. The richest person in the world can be greedy. So, you know. So the king does agree to let him do this, and he goes on to do it. He tells them the time, he tells them the day. Now, he also tells his people to send out these letters to everybody, so they can all know what's about to go down. Okay? He wants everybody to know what's about to happen. He don't want nobody to be confused, and he definitely wants the Jews to know, because he's terribly upset with Mordecai. So he's trying to be nasty now. So he sent all this stuff out, and not only is he killing Jewish men, but he said he killing every Jew. He don't care if you're a baby. He don't care if you're a woman. He don't care if you're a child. He gonna kill you. And that's what it say right here. Jewish men, women, and children are to be killed. That's it. Period. He's not playing. So that is sent out. Now when this message gets to Mordecai, Mordecai is about to lose it. Mordecai gets so upset about the letter that he tears his clothes off. He technically is screaming right everywhere. He put on something called sackcloth. I'm assuming he just put on a diaper. It probably looked like a cloth diaper, because They say Mordecai was acting up. You hear me? They said he was showing out. And when the word got back to Esther, because somebody close to her in the kingdom had told her, like, hey, your cousin showing out there screaming. He at the gate right now, banging and stuff, like just tripping. So she gets upset. She's like, Mordecai, get yourself together. Stop doing this. You're embarrassing me, cuz. You're embarrassing me. So she tell him, you need to put some clothes on. I'm sending him right now to give you some clothes. And he's like, no, I don't want no clothes. I'm done. I'm about to die anyway, so I'm going to act the fool before I go. It's technically what he's saying. So at this point, Esther is just like, you know what? This has to stop. So Esther does what we all know she's famous for. She goes to the king when she's technically not supposed to go to him unless she's called. But because of her beauty, because of her favor, and because of her grace that God puts upon her, she's able to go forth in front of the king. And he is very pleased by this, by the way. And basically put it out there what she wants. And he said, you know, I'll give you whatever you want. You can have this kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Because you're that fine to me. She was it for the king. You hear me? So, technically, Esther, she didn't want to, I don't think she made them come to dinner. Him and the Haman come to dinner. She invited them to dinner. And I believe in the Bible, she invited them a few times. I'm not going to say the number yet because I don't remember. I remember reading it, but I feel like she did it like 2 or 3 times when she invited them to dinner. And the king just kept asking her, baby girl, what is it? What you want? You can have whatever you like. And she was just like, all right, well, let's have some more dinner again tomorrow and I'll tell you. That's kind of like how she was doing, you know what I'm saying? And eventually she was just like, here is the deal. And that is in chapter 4, y'all. When she starts telling, well, no, chapter 5, when she invites the king and Haman to dinner and she's telling them telling her husband what she wants from him. But she's also inviting Haman. I think that's very ironic that she invites Haman to this dinner, y'all. Because it's like, why did she do that? Well, Esther ain't no fool. Okay? So she dressed in her royal clothes. The king and Haman went to Esther's dinner, and while they were drinking wine, the king asked her, while she was drinking wine, God know what he's doing. He trying to let y'all know he was a little something. He was feeling good. His wife was looking good. So he like, what can I do for you? Just ask and I will give you as much as half of my kingdom. Jesus. Esther replied, Your Majesty, if you really care for me and are willing to do what I want, please come again tomorrow with Haman to dinner. I will prepare for you. At that time, I will answer Your Majesty's question. Like I told y'all, she did a few times with the dinner thing. And she just kept saying, okay, I'll tell you tomorrow. I'll tell you tomorrow what I want. And she basically was using her beauty as an advantage. Because if you ain't really supposed to be going to the king like that, I'm not going to play with you like that. I'm not going to keep telling you, okay, I'll tell you tomorrow. Let's do this again. I'm not going to play like that. Especially when I know my cousin's life is on the line. I'm not joking with you. Okay? But they come back the next day. This is chapter 5, verse 9. Haman was feeling great as he left. But when he saw Mordecai at the palace gate, he noticed that Mordecai did not stand up or show him any respect. He got mad again, y'all. This made Haman really angry, but he did not say a thing. When Haman got home, he called together his friends and his wife, Zeresh, and started bragging about his great wealth and all his sons. He told them the many ways that the king had honored him and how all the officials and leaders had to respect him. Haman added, that's not all. Besides the king himself, I'm the only person Queen Esther invited to the dinner. So he thought he was feeling himself. He really thought something was going on because Queen Esther said, you can call me and my husband have dinner. But really, I'm just showing you how much my husband loved me. And if I tell him not to kill all the Jews and kill you, you're fine. So, but none of this makes me happy. As long as I see the Jew Mordecai serving the king. Haman's wife and friends said to him, have a gallows built This is what I was talking about earlier, where I felt like I remember him talking to his wife about this. He have gallows built about 22 meters high, and tomorrow morning ask the king to hang Mordecai there. Then later, you can have dinner with the king and enjoy yourself. Sound good. Sounds nice, right? But this is not what's going to happen. Sometimes your enemies have plans for you. They have plans for you, but then sometimes it gets switched onto you. So that's why sometimes you have to be careful about being mean and nasty for no apparent reason. Because when you think that you are about to win, especially when you're dealing with God's children, things will turn and you just might be the person on the other side. Yeah. Because that's what's going to happen to Haman. Best believe. But y'all will find that out next week. I don't want to hold you guys much longer. I enjoyed this one, y'all. I really did, and I hope you did too. If there's anything that you want me to talk about or read or research when it comes to the word, just let me know. And also, y'all, I'm learning the Bible just like everybody else. My perception may be different from your perception. If you have a different perception, please let me know. Let's say it in a godly way and not an ignorant or nasty way, because I'm still learning to talk nice as well when people are not nice to me. But for the most part, I'm a very sweet person. I love you guys, and y'all have a blessed night. See ya.